Hi, my name's Faith, and this is the Burn After Listening podcast. Today I'm going to talk a bit about current affairs, doctored history, and witnessing occupation in 2025. The fact that we have access to each other through the internet. We can see videos of people across the world, we can see pictures, and we can live stream to people on the other side of the world. We have access to one another in a way we never have. We are able to understand culture, traditions, ideologies. We are able to understand them and engage with them in a very new and, I think, forward-thinking way. Okay, I just need to go back to my script. We have on-the-ground info, direct videos from victims of genocide, war, and mass atrocities. In having that, it's very difficult for occupying countries to hide what they do when they're colonizing, the way they have in the past. History has been famously doctored per nation. Those who, quote, win, unquote, wars / raise and destroy indigenous lands and people are the ones who write the history books. These altered materials are delivered in schools, even today, as a fact. And to me, that is indoctrination. For example, I'm an Indian Irish woman raised in Britain, and I learned absolutely nothing about what the British Empire had done to my countries and inevitably my ancestors. I had to seek out that knowledge in adulthood. Indoctrination and conditioning, particularly through religious and political propaganda, is a weapon of tyranny and fascism. It functions in the same way a cult might. Why spend so much of your time converting people when you can raise them to never question you at all? This is where the complexities of the socio-political landscape of what's happening today. A lot of us are looking at the perpetrators of war crimes and absolutely questioning how they have such a lack of empathy, lack of respect for life. But if you look back into some bits of history that do tell the truth, that do vaguely outline the truth, you'll see that these people are a product of years and decades, even millennia of political conditioning and indoctrination through education. And it feels like a social experiment, and it shouldn't be the case that any people of any land is able to weaponize their education in that way. Unfortunately, I think that the education system per country aligns with what its political beliefs are, or political leaders at the time want their masses to believe. So we don't have real access to genuine, unbiased history. I don't know if we ever have. Even media now is extremely biased, and it's yet another reason why the internet and being online is so groundbreaking, because those biased media outlets who used to be our only source of connection to others that we can't see in front of us is gone. And now we skip the rhetoric, we skip what they want us to believe of this content. It's just there. This is hard for me to talk about because, who am I? Who am I to have a say on anything? But at the same time, there is so much villainous, malicious rhetoric spewing out of people at the moment that surely if they feel so entitled to spewing those kinds of rhetorics, I am entitled to having my voice on this too. Witnessing occupation in 2025 is abominable. We have an abundance of resources. We're already destroying the planet as it is. And now we are, well, not we, some human beings are withholding basic human survival resources: water, food, aid, medicine. And the most devastating thing is when you do actually look at the history and you do read from the perspective of the occupied. You start to understand, oh my God, those who wrote those history books, they are part of the problem. They perpetrated this. And those who would have wanted to share their history of an occupied, of living in occupied territory and being occupied. If you look at the Troubles in Ireland, the Irish language was villainized. It was criminalized. How are we supposed to write our own history if our language was being erased? And of course, Ireland was not the only place for that to happen. It's just another example of how broken our system is. And to pay, and to get legitimate, good education, or to even research yourself costs so much money. It's indoctrination on a huge scale, on a global scale. I think that is being challenged by this global connection we have to one another. Being able to see each other and talk to each other without the blocks of politicians, reporters, journalists. And this isn't to say that all reporters and journalists are bad, of course not. But when you look at situations like the BBC, who made a documentary about Palestine and then took down their own documentary about Palestine, it makes you wonder, have they ever been telling us the truth? This wasn't an episode for a solution. This was an episode for saying this how it is. It's still considered controversial to even say anything that I'm saying, which is shocking to me, because at the end of the day, being able to challenge propaganda, being able to challenge being conditioned and indoctrinated, I think is one of the best things that humans can develop within themselves today. Have your own thoughts, have your own opinions, listen to others, try to understand things from other people's perspectives. It's divide and segregation that keeps us subjugated and oppressed. And I don't know what resistance at this late stage of capitalism can look like. Legally, I don't think it can happen. I'm based in Britain, where protest is now illegal. We are basically in a fascist state. It's the very least we can do is say that we know that this is fascism. We know that this is indoctrination, and we won't subscribe. Thanks for listening today. Let me know what you think. And next episode will be coming soon. I've been very busy with work, so apologies if I'm not as frequent with my posting as I'd like to be. But I'm hoping that within the next few months, things will settle down and I'll be able to post more regularly. In the meantime, let me know what you think. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next episode.